If you would have told me 5 years ago that I was going to be creative director for a church, I would have believed you. If you would have told me all the steps that were going to happen between where I was and where I am now, I would have said you were crazy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Isaac. I am the creative director at Hope Community Church, Elyria, and I love creating things, whether that is haircuts, because I'm also a barber, photos, videos, graphics, great experiences for people to be a part of. That's just what I enjoy doing. And I kind of want to peel back the curtain a little bit behind that. So a little bit about me. In 2021, I graduated high school and I started interning at a church. I was working specifically in the youth department, and so I was doing just a lot of set up this game, set up that game, prep these graphics and things like that. I wasn't really doing a ton of what I called ministry because it just didn't fit the mold of what I thought ministry was, which I was wrong. I was an arrogant 18-year-old, go figure. From that, I learned I love creating things because I was working in production. I'd been volunteering with production since 2018. So I learned while I was a volunteer that I love graphic design, I love photography, videography, audio engineering, basically all things that are creative in production for a church. As time went on there at the church, I ended up getting hired almost to the day a year after I started interning, and so I became the youth assistant. And from there, about 6 months later, I was hired in full-time to do youth assistant in IT, but my heart was at the creative side. I learned that youth ministry wasn't for me, and I really just wanted to create things. And because of that, there wasn't really any openings in that, so I left. I didn't want to keep working hard at something that I wasn't truly passionate about because it was wearing down on me, and if that's the way I was feeling, I wasn't going to be able to give my best to those students the way they needed. So I figured the most loving thing to happen was for me to move on, and so that's what I did. After a period of unemployment, I found myself working at a Chick-fil-A because I just really needed money. And that was weird. I went from having a career 9 to 5 in the field that I was going to school for to working at a Chick-fil-A serving chicken. But on my second shift, my second day there, I heard that they needed somebody to run social media. And I was like, hey, I did that at my last job. I think I could do that for you guys. And they agreed. So my first 2 weeks there, I was just a regular employee, and then I got promoted to the social media coordinator the following week. So week 3, I had already stepped back into a creative field. Now granted, I was still spending at least 35 hours a week serving chicken in up to 5, creating things, but it was cool. It brought a sense of purpose to creation and things like that. And so I enjoyed that. And after about a year, so I started that in 2023, I lost where I was. Madison called, and when your girl calls, you got to pick up. But yeah, I worked at Chick-fil-A for about a year and then started interviewing at some churches to be working in either a production department or a creative department. And I ended up getting declined for one role that I really wanted, and that kind of sucked. But they did use me as a contractor, which was really cool. I was running audio about 3 to 4 times a month between 3 different campuses and 2 separate service times, Thursday nights and Sunday mornings. So that was really cool. And I was getting paid to go to church and run audio, something I was going to be doing at whatever church I went to anyway. So that was great. That happened for about a year, and then in January of 2025, they started outsourcing to this company called AudioLink. So the way this company works is, they take all the lines that come in that you mix, and they run that through into a computer, and then that computer streams it to this guy in Brazil, but he's not working on his own computer. He's using his to remote into that computer, so he's able to hear it, but he's got like a 45-second delay. And then he's mixing on your computer, and then from there it sends out from that computer into your soundboard, and then from the soundboard out to your main PA. And so if it works great, awesome. I didn't really stay around long enough to find out because I kind of got rug pulled in that situation, which sucks, but it is what it is. It was a smart move on their part for having consistent audio. If your best audio people are here and your worst audio people are here, and audio link is right here, it just makes sense to kind of level it out. Like, sure, it's not as great as your best, but it's a lot better than your worst. So in May, I finally started barber school. A friend of mine had been through barber school and convinced me to end up going, and that sounded like a blast to get to work with him and another one of my friends. The three of us used to work at the church together, and I was like, oh, I could work with two of the dopest people I know. That would be insane. And so I went to school, got my license, and took just under a year. It was 11 months and like 2 weeks. I graduated in April, and then around the time I was finishing up graduation, Madison was approached about her role here as the director of family ministries. This is where it gets kind of weird. We were living in Delaware. The job is in Elyria, and those are about 2.5 hours apart. You can't really make that work as a commute. So it was kind of a game time decision. She was interviewing right around the time I was finishing up barber school, and so it was one of those things where it's like, well, do we go where she's going to make good money, guaranteed, and Isaac needs to find a job as a barber, or do we stay where Isaac has a job as a barber and she's not making great money? We ended up deciding that it was worth making the move, and so we came up here at the beginning of June. And I've been cutting in a barbershop for about 6 weeks, just like a little temporary role, and ended up moving up here, and I had an awful time finding a barbershop. And they actually approached me about the communications coordinator role, which is interesting because they actually approached me about it back in February, but I did not pursue it because I wasn't really interested in working at a church again. I was like, no, I'm a barber, I went to school for this. I don't really want to let that sit and do nothing, and I really enjoy it. But as I pondered it when they approached me the second time, I was like, well, maybe, like, that's a side job. But I wasn't really having any luck finding a job as a barber. And as I was talking with the pastor and the leadership team, we all kind of came to the realization that the job was bigger than a part-time communications coordinator role. It was a full-time creative director role that they really needed. And so they did it. They hired me. And I am now the creative director for a church after going to school for a year to be a barber. Yay. I feel like a total idiot, honestly. I spent a year of my life in barber school. It was honestly the hardest year of my life. It was a huge strain on my relationship with Madison, and like a huge load on my mental health. And now I'm not using it, which feels insane. I hate that. My grandparents helped me pay my bills while I was in school. So now it kind of feels like just a bunch of waste of money. Now granted, when I started barber school, I didn't think I was not going to be a barber in a year. And my goal still eventually is to get back into barbering. I'm wanting to put a shop here at the church and use that as part of our outreach. That would be really cool, but it also takes time. So that's how I'm here. And now, as far as what you guys can expect from me and this channel, a little bit of everything. I love cutting hair, obviously. I love cameras. I love photography, videography, computers, tech. I am a nerd through and through. And so that means what you can expect from me is obviously exploring what it's like to be a 23-year-old creative director of a church that's been here for 200 years. And then also, what does it look like to navigate two career fields? I'm going to be showing off some of the cameras and tech that I'm going to be messing with here, because I'm going to have access to it and I care a lot about it. I enjoy that stuff, and I'm going to have a hard time not talking about it. So there'll probably be like a desk setup video where I talk about my monitors, my camera, and my speakers, my mic, like stuff like that. But then there's also going to be just documenting what it's like to do this job. There's not really anybody I saw online that's doing any content with high production value that is being a creative director in a denominational church, especially a United Methodist Church. And even more on top of that, an open and affirming United Methodist Church. That is a very specific thing that like is probably more specific than most people ever care to get, but this is where I live, this is where I work, and I want to show off what it's like to do this job in my position as somebody who did this for a youth ministry of 300-ish people and is now doing this for a church of 40. So the resources that I had in the past, I don't have access to now. The people, the volunteers, the scale, the production, all that, it's just not there right now. And I want to bring you along and show you what it's like to do all that. At the end of the day, if you care about quality craftsmanship, just random like tech stuff, what it's like to be a creative director or anything like that, the learning experience of that, because I've never been a creative director before. I've done stuff like this for youth ministry, but I've never had to design merch. I don't know what that's like. I've never had to do most of what this role is going to encompass. I've done the like photo, video kind of thing, and that's really it, graphic design. So as I'm growing in this role, I want to bring you along and maybe we'll learn together. So, yeah. Computer shut off. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.